keeps us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. I'm going to grab a fan. Grab a fan. No, I'm going to grab it. All right. Look, it's my number one fan. Get it? It's my number one fan. Saturday afternoon. This will be a lonely one. Maybe we should just call it loneliness. I wasn't going to do today's daily reflection, but I think everybody's probably talked about fear enough over the last couple days. So we are in daily reflections, but it's December 11th. So we're going to be in the 12 by 12 page. 1, 9 day. 2, 1, 9 2. Gotta close the door here. You guys are eating? We're having dinner in like, yeah, okay. All right. All right. Where's Grandpa now? Nothing. He knows nothing. Eating the rest of my pizza. What the fuck is that? All right, I was just checking chat because we had somebody here, but they weren't saying anything yet. So let's switch this over to chat. Some people may be driving and stuff. So 190. Okay, I must have looked at it wrong. 12 steps, 12 traditions, page 192. Well, mine ends at 190. It wants to do the long forms of the traditions. I don't have it. Where is it? Oh, here we go. 191, 192. Where was it trying to get here? We are actually practicing a genuine humility. He who presides over it. So they were talking about tradition 12. Here's the other part of my 12 by 12. If you're like, you abuse your books. You do what I do. You do what I do. And I said do, right? And have your books not get tore up. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this. What does the AA Big Book say about humility? This is where AI comes. This is where AI works really well for us. So we're going to kind of cover the day. We're going to kind of cover the daily reflections first. There we go. Yeah, we got some good stuff there. So let's do this first, and then we'll get to the AI overview. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. If you weren't here in the beginning, I said I had to grab my fan, and now I have my number one fan. You can't see it. The camera's too low. Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. I'm not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. It's always nice to have the grandkids around too. It puts me in a better mood until they get on my fucking nerves. I'm just kidding. I've been giving them shit all day. Thankfully, they're not really scared of Grandpa. I'm like, you guys aren't even scared of me, are you? You're like, no. Why would we be? You're a big softie. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Awesome. Probably because whenever they ask me something, even if the answer is no, eventually I give in. Eventually I give in. A genuine humility. We are actually to practice a genuine humility. This is to the end that our great blessings may never spoil us, that we shall forever live in thankful contemplation of Him who presides over us all. Yeah. We all got a place. There are no there are no lesser or greater than signs in AA. Right. I was actually just talking with a sponsee about this a little bit. Um, I have people that quote unquote follow me here, right? Some people, I've been told a lot. Let's put it this way: I get a lot of compliments. People say, call me the father of AA, a guru, things like that, and they're not really saying it, in a sense to make my head big as much as it's just a compliment. So when that happens, yeah, I do appreciate it. I do. But what I do is I double down on humility at that point. And humility is just understanding that I'm not as important as I think I am. Kind of. You know, I do a lot of stuff. I help a lot of people. A lot of people tell me I call you because you give me the right answer, things like, but humility always has to be forefront in all of it. When I come here, I do that. I mean, and I'll even sit here and tell you I love being the center of attention, but I created an arena for it. Like if somebody else is talking, I don't jump in on their stuff, right? No, I'll show a little bit of humility. All right, I'm just gonna check this one more time, make sure that okay, nobody's chatted from YouTube yet, and that's okay. You're not required to here. You don't need to. If you just want to listen, you're more than welcome. Just as a reminder to people, if I'm talking about my own experience and your experience is a little different, feel free to post it. Well, that's why we do this. We need other people's experiences. I was just talking with this guy. They're putting the Punisher, right? They're putting the Punisher in the new Spider-Man. Well, the Punisher, I know it's rated R. He swears a lot. I mean, a lot. There's a lot of blood. And a guy's like, well, if you match it with the comic books, it'll work out. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could go for that. So, all right. Anyway, experience has taught me that my alcoholic personality tends to be grandiose. What? While having seemingly good intentions, I can go off on tangents in pursuit of my causes. And there's part of the problem. When I was drinking, I thought my intentions were good. I thought they were. They were, but they weren't. I'll just say that they weren't. All right. My ego takes over and lose sight of my primary purpose, may even take credit for God's handiwork in my life. Love you too, Chris. Good to see you, brother. Such an overstated feeling of my own importance is dangerous to my sobriety and could cause great harm to AA as a whole. We were just reading this in the 12 by 12 with a sponsee, right? You talk about two-stepping, things like that. But, when we work a 12th step and maybe there's somebody you've been trying to help get sober for quite some time, they keep failing and you think it's on you. I'm going to give you a couple of hints. Number one, you can't get anybody sober. That's God's job. I couldn't even get myself sober. Okay. So I do not take, if I am working with somebody and they decide to go out and drink, that's not on me. If somebody goes through the 12 steps and knocks the shit out of the park and helps more people than I do, it's not on me. I don't take credit for either one. I didn't do the work. They did their work for their own recovery. I let sponsees make their decisions. I'm like, here are options. What would you like to do? I was literally just on the phone with a sponsee, and they're going through something really fucking hard. We're in the middle. We're just starting their 4-step. And I told them, if we want to back off on the 4-step a little bit while you're going through this, I'm willing to do that. And they're like, no, I want to finish it. Are we meeting Thursday? We do. I'm like, good on you. Good job. See? And they're going through something really, really tough. Not my story to tell. All right. My safeguard, the 12th tradition, serves to keep me humble. I realize both as an individual and as a member of the fellowship that I cannot boast of my accomplishments and that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Even when it comes to my own sobriety, I can't take credit. If I was able to get myself sober, I would have done it a long time ago. I would have done it a very long time ago. If I was able to control my drinking or anything else, I would have done it a very long time ago. But I couldn't. Right? Does that mean I can't take credit for my successes? Sure you can. Okay? But, gosh, it's a lot better to let everybody else see the example that you're making instead. I'll tell you this, if you do something good, I said do again. If you do, and you go put it on Facebook and brag about it, the gift that you are going to receive from God is gone. You've already received your gift. You're not going to get another one. You can either post it and hope that you get enough likes and love that it might equal the love that God has for you. It's not going to come anywhere close. I don't care how many people love that post. It will not come close. Right? So, be careful about bragging, right? It's easy for us alcoholics to do, especially when we're doing really well. Well, you're better than I know. No, I'm just working really hard to be a better person. All right. So let's go to the AI overview. In Alcoholics Anonymous, that means I'm talking too fast. In Alcoholics Anonymous, humility is considered a foundational principle for recovery and staying sober. It is. Humility is the 6th principle of Alcoholics Anonymous. Every step has a principle behind it. So when the 12th step in says, and practice these principles in all of our affairs, those are the principles we're talking about. Okay. The big book emphasizes that without humility, no alcoholic can achieve lasting sobriety. Lasting sobriety. Okay. It is not about thinking less of oneself, but rather thinking of oneself less, thinking about yourself less, and focusing on others. Right. Now, if you have a problem and you put all your effort towards that problem, do you know what your problem becomes? A bigger problem. Gotta be careful how much you focus on your problems. You're solution oriented now. We don't live in our problems. We live in the solution. And the solution is the 12 principles. All right. So what is the answer? It says it right in chapter 12 at the very beginning. Intensive work with other alcoholics always saves the day. Always. Not kind of, sort of, not here and there, not 2% of the time, every single time. It works when other activities fail. Don't bother with the other activities. Don't bother with them. Go straight to helping. And if you can't find an alcoholic, there's always somebody that needs help. Go door to door and knock. Hey, do you need somebody to talk to? I don't know. Just do it. Even trying and failing at it is going to be better than sitting around moping about your problems. And I know that from experience. I'm sure you folks do too. All right. So, key aspects of humility, it's a foundation. Some days are going to suck, and all you're going to have is your foundation. It isn't necessarily the foundation for recovery. Honesty, open mindedness, and willingness is the foundation. Just okay. But I get where they're coming. I okay. And why does that match? Because in order to have open mindedness and honesty and willingness, it takes a degree of humility. You may not even know you're doing it. You may not even realize that you're utilizing humility yet. One day it'll occur to you and you'll see how much you're using humility. It's really just thinking about yourself less, not thinking less of who you are, right? Humility is not a way to determine your worth. And you shouldn't be determining your worth anyway. Let your higher power do that. Don't try and determine it, because that leads to depression. Okay, it's going to lead to two things: depression or ego. It's going to go to one of those two things. Right? So humility is presented as the bedrock principle upon which the 12 steps are built. Not true. That's not true. No, it's not. Humility is the sixth principle. So foundations 1, 2, and 3. See, 1, 2, and 3 have no action, but they are your foundation. So when your days suck, do steps 1, 2, and 3 every day. Just means you're working on your foundation so that when your day sucks, you can start it over, or you just go back to basics. 1, 2, and 3. Nothing wrong with it. Some days it might be the only thing that you have that day, step 1. It's okay. That's all right, man. All right. Thinking of others. That's the big one. We now take other people into consideration. Whenever we do something, who's this going to affect? Well, if it's going to affect them, then we go talk to them about it first, do we not? I hope we do. We should. Okay. So it involves shifting focus from self-centeredness to considering the needs and perspective of others. You don't need to know their perspective. You need to consider it. Well, if I was in their shoes, how would I feel about this? What's the saying? Walk a mile in a man's shoes before you make a judgment. Okay. Problem is, we alcoholics, our first thought's usually not the best one. Okay. It isn't. It changes a little bit. It does. Right. Openness and acceptance. See, when we have humility, we can accept people for who they are. And when we do that, we can move into unconditional love. Right? Humility fosters an open mind and willingness to accept help, learn from others, and admit when one is wrong. Now, in this, they did it correctly. Because what did I say earlier? In order to have the open-mindedness, willingness, and the honesty, you need to, and I may need to cut this short and call this person back. You need a degree of humility. Let me write a quick text here. I apologize, but and I love you guys, but this was important. All right. Jimmy the man. How you doing, Jimmy? Good to see you, brother. Right. So, humility helps us learn from others and admit when you're wrong. See, what does humility replace when we're wrong? What does it replace? Blame, shame, and guilt. Things that are not required to change anymore. You don't need it. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Oops. I did not mean. Hey, man, what the heck? All right. I've got to go all the way back here. There we go. Could we ask the same question? I'll do it. Seeking a higher power. Key aspect of humility is a desire to understand and follow the will of a higher power. It's taking on something new. Right? Letting go of control. You want freedom? If you want freedom, you stop fighting. Stop trying to control everybody and what they're going to do and how they should act and everything else, because they don't want it. Hey, Amber, good to see you. Humility allows individuals to relinquish the need to control everything and accept that they don't have all the answers. See, that was the thing, is I always thought I had the answer. The thing is I've been doing this so long that even while I was drinking, I was helping people get sober. I was, because I knew this so well. And I thought I knew everything. I was just, I thought I was helping, but yeah, it was more of an ego thing. Here's the big one: living in the truth. Humility is about recognizing one's true self, including both strengths and weaknesses, and striving to live in alignment with that truth. There is nothing more freeing than the truth. It is I have found, it is also one of the hardest things to do, especially when you start speaking the truth. People, I said, hi, Amber. Hi, friend. I just keep hearing that little girl every time you say, hi, friend. Hi, friend. Silly little girl. Hi, friend. Now, speaking the truth can create a very lonely world. That's why that number stays where it's at. It's never hit double digits before. I mean, the amount of people that show. Now, if I blew smoke up your ass and told you what you wanted to hear, that number would be a lot bigger. But I don't do that. I don't do that. What is that? Well, it's humility, man. It's humility. I have every ounce of me has faith in the fact that if God wants me to help somebody, then they'll show up here or somewhere else in my life. Yeah. I trust in that. And since I trust in that, things stay consistent. Things like that. Oh, you won't be at the fight. I see how you are. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. Saturday is usually our biggest day. We got to get to 21 though. We've been averaging 12 to 15 people, so it's not bad, right? Let's do just a little bit more here. The big book states, for without some degree of humility, no alcoholic can stay sober at all. Yeah. We talked about that degree of humility. You don't even know that you're doing it though. I'll tell you what alcoholics call it when we first get here: humiliation. And that is a separate word than humility. Humiliation is you're 13, you're walking up to the mall entrance, all the cool kids are out front. So you spit to look cool, but it ends up landing on you, on your shirt, on the front of your shirt. See? I remember that. That's humiliation. The things that I used to do while drinking. When we walked into the program, we were humiliated. But once we raised our hand and said, my name's Dion and I'm an alcoholic, now we have humility. There you go. See, you had it all along. Unsuspecting inner resource. Humility is described as perpetual quietness of the heart and a source of serenity, according to Alcoholics Anonymous. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and